Freak accident during a high school game left the teenager largely paralyzed.
Jared Williams is now paralyzed.
Jared Williams' life will likely never be the same.
A helmet hit the Pinkston High School safety in the neck. Faces a long, painful recovery.
The life of a young football player changed forever. Changed forever. Changed forever.
Just to see not only Pinkston and West Dallas get involved, but you had students from every school in DISD to participate and give their 24 cents at a time. You had alumni send checks to the school. You had community people that works in West Dallas to give their time and financial support. You had people like Mr. Norman Henry with Builders of Hope willing to come in and say, I would love to partnership with you all to help with this project.
Builders of Hope has built homes for over 178 families in the West Dallas community, but we've never been involved in a project like this, building a totally handicap accessible home in partnership with the local high school and Project 24, where a tremendous amount of young people have given of themselves.
When they came on board to say they would lead the effort to the house, that was a blessing. In that we've received chunks of money, $20,000 here, $10,000 there. There's a group of people who are going to pay for Ms. Williams' electric bills for the first year.
Builders of Hope donated the land, but we needed cash to build the homes. And numerous individual donors came forward and said, we believe in this project, we want to help Jared. And the money started flowing.
Around the city, people were hearing about what happened to Jared. People who had no interest in West Dallas, and particularly Pinkston, started to come together. News media started coming together. We had no-name people getting involved, big-name people wanting to get involved, and churches started to come together. Then we got the mayor involved, and we got the DISD superintendent. I mean, it was crazy. Just this little effort that was put together brought so many different hearts and people together.
I had just gotten home one day, and I had been out car shopping, oddly enough. And I turned on the TV, and I saw their news report about the accident. And I'd heard about the accident, but I hadn't seen his face, and I hadn't really connected. And so she reviewed the story, the reporter reviewed the story, and told he was a defensive back, which I was a defensive back when I was in high school, and how the accident happened, and they redid the whole thing. The mother was so relieved when she got him back to school. It was like a load had been lifted. Her son was out of the hospital, Jared was out of the hospital, and Arlena, I remember in the interview, she said, man, I'm so glad to have him back, and some kind of a normalcy of his life among his friends and everything. And then she said to the reporter, and she was smiling, she said, now I just got to figure out a way to get him to school. And again, the reason I mentioned I'd been car shopping, I said, wow, I've been car shopping all day, and I don't really need a car. I wanted a car, but they need a car. And so that's when I said, I got to get this kid a car. It just a light bulb went off in my head. And I said, I think God brought me back home at this particular time to see this story and to see if there was anything that I could do.
Fox Sports' Emily Lopez is live in Uptown Dallas with how they are helping Emily.
And this is all possible because of Al Mack, a local radio personality from Kid Craddock in the Morning, 106.1 FM. He is donating 100% of tonight's proceeds towards the Jared Williams Fund. Mack's hope is to raise enough money to buy Jared's mother a handicapped accessible van.
We sprung into action. We had a fundraiser at the restaurant. We raised over $13,000, which was a lot of money, but it wasn't quite enough. So we pulled our resources together. Kid helped out with some of his friends. We had some other donations. And lo and behold, we've got $32,000 together, enough for a motorized wheelchair accessible van. Now it's time to present Jared with the van, and I was going to try to be a little bit creative with this. So I called Norma, the principal again, principal over at Pinkston, and I told her we had the van, and she said, okay, perfect. I said, now I would like to see if you could maybe get the kids to meet us maybe a couple of blocks from his house. I also called a few buddies that were police officers to see if we could get a police escort for the van and the band and the football team. So what I did, I called Arlena and I said, hey, how you guys doing? I'm in the neighborhood, I just want to drop by. So I went in, I said, hey Jared, how you doing? And they're like, oh, I'm doing good. They sit there watching TV like nothing's going on. And I said, man, you guys hear that? and it was the band playing, and the police cars just coming like a parade, coming right down the street. And I mean, this looked like a real parade. We couldn't see the van. There's so many people surrounding the van, he couldn't even see it. He was like, what are they here for? I'm like, dude, this is the day that you're getting your van. I gave him the key, and he wheeled up in that bad boy, and I tell you this, Jared stayed in that van for about an hour, hour and a half. He parked his wheelchair right there, and he didn't move. And he was so excited. He smiled from ear to ear. And that brought it all home for me right there. I mean, that brought it all home. It's like mission accomplished. My pleasure, my pleasure. Glad to be able to do it for you.
Everybody need to have some wheels. You gotta be able to roll.
Everybody wanted to take part in trying to see what they could do for Jared.
24 cents lead to the Project 24, and it spread it out, and the word got out, and everybody donated and helped out.
I've never, ever seen anything like this before. A community coming together, a school pulling together for one student like this ever. I've never seen it. It was awesome. Almost unbelievable, almost.
We believe if we pull together and do something, we can do something great.
I've never seen a community come together behind something like that ever.
Well, I tell you, we're so excited to see everyone here, and we're so blessed to be working in this community. I'm blessed to be working in this community because every day it brings me joy. And this project is dear to our hearts, and our senior class and our student body has worked really, really hard to make sure that we raise the money 24 cents at a time to build a home for the Williams family. We love Jared, he's our baby, and we're glad to do this.
I never thought this would happen to me, but it did, and I just don't take many things for granted anymore. I actually, when I get things and things happen to me, I cherish them. Like when I got off the ventilator, I tried my hardest to get my trach out. And when I started doing therapy, I try my hardest at everything I do now. I don't take as many things for granted as I did before the accident.
We're seeing now young people at Pinkston High School who are leaders, who are making a difference. And this project is a result of their leadership, their passion, and their concern for a peer of theirs. This house is going to be totally ADA accessible, handicap accessible. That one day, if Jared is living in this house by himself, he will be able to function in this home independently of anyone else living there. So this is a very unique product, a new idea. We're excited to be a part of it.
It was a really bleak time for the school and for the community. Here's a young man that was in Bible study, outstanding student, young man that had high hopes for his life and a lot of potential. But this one accident crashed all that, and there was a lot of unknowns. We didn't know what his situation was going to be and how Jared was going to come out of this. And so it created an atmosphere of fear and concern for his situation. And we felt as a group that we needed to create something that was hopeful, something that was positive out of a negative situation.